I was recently intrigued with some of these videos that I've seen Rhett Shull and others put out about these lawsuit-era Takamines. And many people have said that these compare very favorably to Martins from that era. So I was really intrigued, and I had to try one for myself, having seen a couple of Rhett's videos, including the one that he just put out like a month or so back, where the guys at Driftwood Guitars rebuilt his guitar. And so I was really curious for myself. So I started looking around online, and lo and behold, I found one actually right in my backyard, in the hole in the ground, just dug that thing up, and here we are.
Oh my God.
No, actually, I found one on Facebook Marketplace locally. A guy was posting one of these, and I'd been looking for one for kind of a while, and it just kind of randomly showed up. And I was like, oh, cool. It listed for around $200. And so I figured it was time to pull the trigger. The original guitar had, at this era, this is a 1972, the original guitar had a bolt-on bridge. It was kind of that era of guitars where Takamine was like kind of Gibson in the 60s, bolting in bridges to the guitar. And so it had a plastic kind of bridge plate underneath the bridge itself. And so the previous owner that I bought this from actually did a bridge replacement on that. And so this is a brand new mahogany bridge on this guitar. He also did bone nuts and saddle and pins as well. And whoever, it wasn't the guy I bought it from, but someone in the past actually swapped out the original OG Takamine tuners for Gotoh tuners, which is a huge upgrade from, I'm sure, whatever was on the Takamine to begin with. So it holds great tune as well, so that's an added benefit. And I got a TKL case out of it too, which is worth the price of the $200 right there. So really, really happy with this. It's super cool, more historical bass guitar. If you're unfamiliar with the history, I'm not going to go super into it. Plenty of people have already covered that, but suffice to say that Takamine was putting out some very near identical clones to Martin in the decade from the 70s on through the 80s. And so they got issued a cease and desist order from Martin because the clone was real. I mean, even down to like the interior of the guitar itself. They even did their little Takamine logo, much as Martin does of this era of guitars. And so obviously you don't really need to look much further than the headstock of the guitar to see the comparisons as well. So essentially this is basically a all laminate, that's an important distinction there too, all laminate made clone of a Martin D-18. So I'm gonna play through some different examples of this, but before I do that, I did want to mention too, I did take this guitar into my Luthier, and we did some additional things onto this guitar, in addition to some of the upgrades that the previous owner had done. We really worked with the setup quite a bit. The neck was very straight, so we didn't really adjust anything there, but we did have to shave down significantly the nut and kind of do a better buffing job. Whoever kind of installed the nut, this bone nut on here, it was just a super rough kind of cut. So we did some serious filing and buffing and ensuring that the break angle looked really good on that. Same thing with the saddle as well. And I will say there is a night and day difference between when I bought it and a few days later when I took it into my Luthier for some of those repairs. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump in here and we're just going to do some back and forth kind of samples of some different techniques on this guitar. And you'll have to let me know what you think down in the comments. So enjoy the samples. So hope you enjoyed those examples of what this guitar sounds like. I'll be interested to see what you guys think in the comments down below. If you think this actually compares even at all to a Martin of this era. I know I have my own personal thoughts here, having played and actually recorded Martins from the 60s and 70s myself. I don't think this anywhere near scratches the surface of any of those guitars, but it's cool. This guitar has a lot of vibe, kind of a cool mid-ranging kind of quality. One thing that's kind of interesting about laminate guitars I've found is oftentimes they can end up sounding a little bit more balanced. For recording, at least in front of a microphone. It does have some boominess more than I'd expect, but this one does have kind of a little bit muddiness in there, and not as good of kind of articulation as I would expect from a Martin of this era. But that being said, it's a pretty cool guitar, especially for $200. Having played a lot of Martins in the kind of X series, Road series, which kind of like, go up into the, $1,200-$1,300 range. I think this guitar actually holds its own, if not sounds significantly better. For sure, it is a more unique guitar, I think, and has a more unique tonal palette than a lot of those guitars that are coming out, from Martin these days that are made offshores. So pretty cool bit of history. And if you happen to see one in your hometown, or area, these are a great pickup, especially if you can kind of get them for a affordable price and some basic kind of luthier, adjustments that you can make to kind of bring this guitar up to ship shop shape. I definitely will not be doing the, $4,000 of luthier work that Rhett Shull did on his. But that being said, I think it's a cool guitar just to have in the arsenal. So if you enjoyed this video, please do smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more future content like this. I talk about all things guitar and music tech on my channel, so definitely stay tuned for future content, and I will see you in the next video.